is our continuation of task number 50, which is our dental. So the first thing we're going to do is, unfortunately, we were able to convince our clients to let us use their dog for the dental, but they were not willing to be on camera. So what I'm going to do is role play with our discharge instructions that we've written out. So basically, Bo had just a dental cleaning and no extractions. So when we tell the patient when they're going home that they can go home with their food, they can have a small amount of food and water late tonight, and then tomorrow morning they can have their normal feeding. Since there was no extractions, they should be good to chomp on all their stuff. Exercise is unlimited. There's no medications going home. There's no need to return for any aftercare visits. And then if they were going home after incisions, we would send them home with medications. So we would definitely go over that. They were to get half of a carprofen every 12 hours for pain. But this one was a fairly simple dental. So then we're also going to go over some models of the teeth. So this is our model here. So the first thing we have is we have our canines here, and then we have our incisors up here, our premolars and our molars. So our canines are what they use to kind of pull things with, and then their canines they use to tear, any meat or anything that's real hard that they would need to rip into, and then they use their molars and premolars to grind. When we look at surfaces of their teeth, there's multiple surfaces. The vestibular is the part that faces the lips, so anything up here would be our vestibular. Our labial would be facing the tongue, so anything in here. And then some of the things that we need to address are why x-rays are important. X-rays are important so that we can see if there's any cracked teeth, if they're below the gum line, if there's any abscesses down below the gum line, anything like that. So we want to make sure that we get that. Some of the things we tell patients when they go home is that they need to make sure that they're brushing their dog's teeth. And there's, just a regular toothbrush, but there's special toothpaste that they should use, and they should angle the brush towards the gum line. We also sell what's called TD treats. We use them as dental treats. They seem to work well. The dogs like them. They're hard, they're crunchy, so they will break apart the plaque that can build up on there. And then there are certain toys and stuff that people say work well for dental. We here advise against using any type of a chew for the fact that if there's any type of a toy, not only can they break a tooth on it, they can swallow a piece of it and then it becomes a foreign body, which in itself is a whole another issue. Dogs have 42 permanent teeth. They have 2 incisors. So what we do is we say, okay, 2 times 2 incisors, 2 canines, like 1 and 1, 4 premolars, 3 premolars and then 2 premolars, and then their molars are 1 and 1. So what we do is we take the total amount of teeth and then we times that by 2, and that gives us our total for the amount of teeth that there are. Cats do not have as many teeth, they only have 30 teeth. So when we look at a cat, we say they have 3 incisors, 3 and 3, 1 canine. Premolars are 3 and 2, molars 1 and 1, that gives us 15, and then we times that by 2, which gives us 30. Some of the things that we need to watch for when we are doing our dentals is fractured teeth, again, because they can cause damage, be painful, end up in infection, root abscess. And when we do our dentals, we want to make sure we clean all of the calcaneus off. And what happens is that calcaneus builds up and it rots away the tooth. So when the tooth rots, then the tooth is no good. They can have pain and they have to have the teeth pulled out. Worn teeth can happen. We see that a lot with older dogs that have hard chew toys or spend their entire life eating on hard food. If their bite is not lined up, they can grind their teeth, that type of thing. Periodontal disease is one thing that we look at as well, and we want to make sure that we check that when we are doing our surgeries, and we will use a probe to check down between the gum line and the tooth to make sure that the gum is still attached to the bone. There's 4 stages of that. Plaque is the first stage, which we just talked about. There's mild inflammation, where you'll see some inflammation along the gum lines. They're a little puffy, little tender. And then we move on to established gingivitis, which by that point there's not a whole lot that we can really do to stop the damage that's already done. We can try to prevent any further damage. And then there's severe periodontitis, where the tooth is no longer attached to the bone. There's no gum to protect it. And then the tooth sometimes fall out. Sometimes when we're cleaning, we bump it, and if it's bad, it'll just, wobble around in their mouth. So that's kind of where we talk about that. We have tooth rot abscess, and that's down in the roots of the tooth. So when they're not taken care of and they're damaged and there's infection or broken tooth, they can rot the bottom of the tooth, and then that becomes abscessed, which is an infection. We have to go ahead and take care of that. And then let's see, what else do we need to talk about? I think that covers what we were going to talk about today. We just always want to make sure, some patients need dentals more often than others. Some get them every year, some get one and you don't see the need to do one for a few more years after that. And some only get one in a lifetime. It all depends on the type of pet you have, their teeth, their diet. A lot of times the ones that we see that eat almost all like soft foods or wet foods, they tend to need them more. Toy breeds seem to need dentals more often. So we definitely want to go ahead and watch over that. And I think that covers everything for task number 50. So we will go ahead and end it there.